there, welcome to another episode of In the Garden with Mr. Elrod. Today I'm here with Miss Amanda Ryan. Say hello, Miss Amanda.
Hi guys, welcome.
So Miss Amanda is actually a friend of my wife's. They met at a Bible study, and so we reached out to see if we could come and check out her new space that she and her family have put together. So it's pretty awesome. I'm excited to show you guys, and so we're just going to go ahead and have Miss Amanda show us around.
All right, welcome to the garden. All right, well, come on in.
Okay.
So we have, I have kind of two sections to my garden. So over here I have raised beds, and I've got all kinds of stuff in them, but everything over, not everything, but most of what's over here I bought from a nursery in a little pot and planted and have watched it grow. I do have pumpkins over there that I started from seed, but over here everything is planted in the ground, and everything over here I grew from seeds. So you can see it's much smaller. It got a little bit of a later start because I started it from seeds, but it's been neat to watch the difference from my planter boxes to my seeds. So let me show you what's over here.
So if you don't mind, if I ask you a quick question,
Sure.
Were you just experimenting to see what the difference would be between the potted plants versus the seeds?
A little bit of both. Everything to me in the garden is an experiment. I love to watch different things grow differently, but to be honest, part of it was just I wanted to hurry up and get something in the ground. So I bought some plants at the nursery. I also have had great success with plants from the nursery in the past, so I felt like it was a surefire way to get some good plants in the ground. But I wanted to watch things grow from seed. There's just nothing cooler than watching something grow from seeds. So as everything grew successfully from seeds, I needed a place to put it. So that's why it's in the ground over there. So I've got a handful of planter boxes. I was very fortunate when we moved in. All of this wood was just scattered around the property. So my husband is very handy. He put them all together. We ordered some really good dirt that I can tell you guys about, and it's a little bit more expensive, but it really, I feel like, makes a big difference. If you look at this zucchini and the size of its leaves versus my squash on the other side, it's triple the size. So this is zucchini on this side. I've got some cool tomatoes in the middle, and then on the back side is squash. These tomatoes are really neat to me. It was the first time I've ever planted them, and as you can see, I actually have one that's ripe right here. They are called Golden Jubilee, and they're yellow. This is a ripe tomato. I have never grown these before. They taste just as sweet and awesome as a red tomato, but it's called a Golden Jubilee. So these were fun. Every year I try to plant something new, and this year I tried a whole bunch of stuff because we're in the middle of a pandemic, and I had the space this year for the very first time ever. So I planted all kinds of stuff. This on the ground in front of my feet is watermelon, and I've never grown watermelon before, but here it is, and I actually have a few watermelon in here. So as you can see, I got two here and I got one over there. So this has been fun. I didn't plan very well with my experimental planting this year because, as you can see, it grew everywhere. So I kind of have to dodge it when I walk around, but that's okay.
So I noticed you put your tomatoes, your zucchini, and I guess you said squash over here all together. Is there a particular reason for that?
Well, I know that kind of the squash, not a reason as far as them growing harmoniously. It was mainly a space idea. The tomatoes grow up and the squash grow out. So I put the tomatoes in the middle and I put the squash on the edge so that I could just use my space wisely.
Okay.
And that was the intent with the watermelon as well, but it grew way out. So this is my newest bed. I planted this one about 2 weeks ago. This was full of strawberries, but the deer ate all of the strawberries. So I pulled everything out and put some more tomatoes and some more squash in here. And they're growing pretty well.
So really quick, you said you pulled everything out. Could you tell everybody about how long ago you pulled everything out?
I pulled everything out probably about 4 weeks ago. I let it sit dormant for a few days just to make sure I had everything out, stirred the dirt up, and then I put the new stuff in. And these are from seeds as well.
Okay.
So these, but again, if you look, these are from seeds. They've been in here for about 3 weeks, and they're probably double the size of the stuff that's in the ground over there. So there's just, this dirt is just, it really has taught me how good dirt is.
Absolutely.
These are all pumpkins and gourds, and these are from seeds. So this has been fun to watch. I do have some spaghetti squash growing in here, which has been really fun for me. I really enjoy eating spaghetti squash, so growing it for myself has been really fun. I've got a lot of different pumpkins growing. Got some little bitty orange ones, I got some birdhouse gourds growing on a vine right here. You can see them coming up. My son got gourd seeds from the Easter Bunny. All of my boys got some seeds in their Easter baskets. So we have planted those. So that has been a lot of fun to watch them all grow.
Are y'all gonna use those for something, or?
We hope to use them for birdhouses. We've
Okay.
never done it before, so I'm gonna have to do a little research to figure it out. But again, everything's an experiment in the garden.
Absolutely.
So we'll see how that goes. We do have some actual jack-o'-lanterns growing that are big orange ones. You can see them. Sorry, you have to dodge again. My planning will be better next year, but you can see the two big orange ones over there. So that's been cool to watch those grow. And it was neat because they're green. You know, when they grow, they start green. Kind of like, here's some green ones. These will turn into this.
Okay.
So it's pretty cool to watch them grow.
Is that a particular variety that gives you the white stripes?
Yes, we got it in a seed packet, and I don't remember what it was called. But it was a packet that had the little stripy pumpkins on it.
Okay.
So, and they're growing like crazy. So that's been fun to watch. And you let them grow until the seeds dry up, and then you pick them.
Okay.
These two flower beds here are full of peppers. I love spicy food. We cook a lot of chili in the fall. Peppers freeze really well. I also like to put them in my pickles to make hot pickles. So we grow a lot of peppers. Yeah,
those are some good sized jalapenos.
Yeah, these are called giant jalapenos or mammoth jalapenos. You can see they are big. Yeah. So I like to let them get a whole bunch on the vines, pick them all at once, and then make jalapeno poppers with them.
Okay.
So that's why I plant the mammoth ones on purpose. And then I like serranos. We eat a lot of guacamole. They're really good in guacamole. And I only planted one habanero here, and as you can see, it's going to give me enough habanero peppers for me and the rest of the world. Yes. I'll put maybe one in a pot of chili, and I'm all set. So I'll have plenty of that. This is a giant pumpkin. You know, if you go to the pumpkin patches and they have huge pumpkins, this is what that's supposed to be.
Okay.
And we actually have 3 on the vine right now that are growing. So
okay.
Hopefully we will end up with at least one really big one. So far over here, you can see this is our biggest one so far. And it's growing, and it grows fast. It's been really cool to watch how fast it grows. So we'll see. Okay. It's hanging in there. I'm hoping that nothing eats it or drills holes in it or any of that stuff.
Those can be kind of a pain, those pests.
Yes.
Now, so you've got some flowers kind of interspersed. Do you want to tell us about those?
I do. So it's important to plant flowers in your garden. It's something that I've learned in the past couple of years that I've really started tuning into. It attracts the pollinators, and the pollinators you need to pollinate the flowers on your vines so that your vines can fruit. You know, when your pumpkins come out, they have a bud on the end of them, like right here. I can show you. So this is a new pumpkin, and it's got a flower on it. So when this flower opens it up, you want the pollinator to fertilize the flower so that your pumpkin continues to grow. So that's why I plant the flowers in here to bring the pollinators in. And I've had a pretty successful year so far. I've gotten a lot of fruit, so I feel good about that. Little people. All right, and then these are tomatoes, and my back vines are cucumber vines. You can see back there, there's actually, I just picked all the cucumbers off yesterday. I missed one. But those are my pickling cucumbers, so I've made a lot of pickles. I think I've made like 7 batches of pickles this year. So, and I've given away a few batches of pickles as well, lots of pickles. But this is, I mean, pickles are cucumbers and the little people. I have my own kids in there, always in the garden, so it's been great to have kids in the garden this year.
It's a great space to get kids out in.
Yes, they love it. We've had lessons on picking ripe vegetables versus vegetables that aren't quite ripe. My son likes to pick the yellow tomatoes, but he has learned now what a ripe tomato looks like, except these, which are yellow tomatoes. These are all little cherry tomatoes, and they have gone crazy. I need to come pick them. I haven't picked them yet this morning. I pick those every day. There's always some that are redder than the others from the day before. And then I've got a few buckets of lettuce this year. Lettuce is something that is easy. Anybody can do it at home. This is something, I mean, I took a big pot, filled it with potting soil, and I just planted some lettuce seeds in them. Obviously you want to make sure you pull the weeds out so you don't eat the weeds. But that is why I use the pot actually. I tried to grow lettuce in the ground before, and I was worried that I was eating weeds because I didn't know, I wasn't experienced enough to know the difference between the new lettuce seeds versus the weeds.
Oh, yeah.
But when I plant them in a fresh pot of potting soil, I know that anything growing is lettuce.
Yeah.
So
And that's, I mean, so everybody can see, I mean, that's not a ton of space.
no.
I mean, you've got plenty of lettuce in there to pick pretty
Oh
regularly.
yeah, yep. And then I have one more down there of a different kind. So I mean, I can come pick a salad out of my garden almost every day. It's been pretty awesome.
Absolutely.
I got blueberry bushes growing. This is the first year, so they're still really small. I didn't get blueberries off of them this year, but hopefully next year and the years to come. And then over here is again more pumpkins. We went a little crazy with the pumpkins this year, but it's been a lot of fun to watch them grow. These though are in the ground, and the dirt here is not great, and I didn't supplement the dirt a whole lot, so as you can see, these are not near as big as my other pumpkins. They're still producing. I got a couple little white ones here, so these are little white ones. Oh man, I think that one has pickle worms.
Uh-oh,
Yeah.
pickle worms are a pain.
Let's see, I'm gonna pick it off so it doesn't share the pickle worms. See the little holes in it? Yeah. Bummer. Happens. It's part of gardening.
That is part of the life of a gardener.
That's right.
Figuring out the pests.
Yep, that's part of it. And pickle worms are a first for me this year. I've done squash bugs before, but I'm learning all about pickle worms this year. But I have chickens, so I will cut this up and put it in my chicken coop, and they will be very happy with it.
Absolutely.
So this is more peppers, cucumbers, tomatoes. My big pots have potatoes in them,
Okay, yeah.
which I have never grown before. So this is a first for me as well. So I'm excited to see in a few more months what's under all that dirt in those bags of dirt.
Hopefully good potatoes and
hopefully
good sized potatoes.
Hopefully good potatoes, for sure. But yes, so that, I mean, that's the garden tour. I have really enjoyed it. I've been very thankful for this space this year, especially during this crazy time we're in. It's just been such a place of peace for me to come, put my hands to work, and just watch God's amazement grow. It's awesome. So,
Absolutely.
but
All
that's where we're at. So, you know, I love it here. All right, so as you've seen, this is my garden as it is now. I do have lots of plans and hopes and dreams to change it up in the future. When we moved to this property, one of the reasons we moved was because we have 3 boys and we wanted space for them. But one of the side effects of that for me was I had more space to garden. I've always wanted a greenhouse. I've always dreamed of having a greenhouse, even from like the first, little bit of marriage. I was like, I want a greenhouse. I actually have the sketch I drew in our first year of marriage, so it's really funny. But we hope to put a greenhouse right like from here to there. It won't be super big, but it'll be a place for me to start my seeds, to winter some of my house plants or my outside plants, to tuck them away for the winter that can't stay on the patios all winter. But we envision it being like right there, with the windows and the pretty roof that lets all the light in and that kind of stuff. So that's why this is in the ground, because then I can pull it up, and we left the boxes that way. Now I did have a really particular layout for the boxes in my head that I wanted, with dimensions and sizes and everything. But as I said, all of this wood is what was here and it's what we used. So we just kind of went with it, and as we built a box, it was whatever size it was going to be, and we put it wherever it fit. So
Absolutely.
there's possibilities that some of these will change down the road, but it is pretty close to what I had in my mind. So I'm very thankful for that. I'm very grateful we didn't have to go out and find wood in the middle of a pandemic, that it was here for us.
Yeah. That's one thing I always try to emphasize is I try to be I use the word cost effective. Maybe cheap's a better term.
Yeah, frugal.
Yeah, absolutely.
Frugal.
Frugal is a
Yes. So, and I do splurge on things like the really good dirt, so I didn't want to have to splurge on buying wood. So I was very thankful all of that wood was here and that we could reuse it and not just throw it out.
Yeah.
So that was really cool for me. So we'll probably leave this as raised beds. We might drop a few more raised beds on this side. I have a few more pots actually waiting for some more dirt for some more lettuce seed that I'll bring back down here. But we'll probably keep most of the raised beds over here. And over here I envision, like I said, the greenhouse, and I want to fence it. We have the ribbon right now, as you can see, the white ribbon around the fence is to keep deer off. It is sprayed with a scent that repels deer, and it does work pretty well. It's not foolproof, so it doesn't keep everything out. We still have groundhogs and bunnies, so we've dealt with some of that. So I do envision putting an actual fence up, and I'll use that as a trellis for like cucumbers and climbing vines and beans and things like that. So I kind of have a vision in my head that's just so pretty and romantic, and we'll see what really happens. But you know, that's where we're at here.
And I know you mentioned the soil. Since we're here, you just want to go ahead and talk about that real quick?
So this is soil, and I order it from a sod store, like that brings you grass. But this is the soil that they bring, and it is called Soil 3, and they deliver it. And it is, if you order it in the spring, they run it on sale. So it's, I think I paid $150 for a bag that big in the spring. And that might sound high for dirt, but as you can see, it did. I had 2 bags in the spring, and it filled all of my boxes plus my pots, and it produces. I have beautiful vegetables, and I haven't had to do a whole lot of extra fertilizing. I haven't really had to do a whole lot of extra stuff. So I actually ordered another bag recently to top off some of my plants because I'm seeing some roots exposed on my tomatoes and things, so I need to add some dirt to the top. And then also, the dirt will sit there fine, so when everything's done, I can add fresh dirt, till it all up, and let it sit dormant for the winter.
Okay.
So it's really good dirt. And then we made us a little wash and sink out of a cheap sink I found off of Craigslist, some chicken wire we had in the barn, and some boards. And it's been great to just be able to wash my veggies right here after I pick them.
So you run a hose down from the house, and then that gives you your sprinkler.
Yep.
And your wash stand.
Yep, my sprinkler, I'm very lucky. It does reach all of this area, and that's probably, we'll keep the garden about the same size, just for simplicity's purposes. The sprinkler does 360 around and get everything, so that's been really helpful. And then yeah, we just turn it up on at the house, and it comes on down, and thankfully we're on a well here, so we can water.
Nice, yeah.
That's been very lucky for us. We haven't had to worry about any watering restrictions or anything because we're on a well. So
or a water bill.
Or a water bill, and we're on a very good well. So it's not going to run dry. Knock on wood, please Lord. But it's been very good to just have the sprinkler right here that can sprinkle and water everything. We run it for about an hour every morning unless it rains, and then we don't have to water.
Oh, very good.
Yeah.
And then we have our compost pile.
Yes,
over
out
this
there
way.
in the middle right now is where it's kind of at. I hope to get a composter soon and get some bins set up, and I'll probably put them along the fence over there. It just kind of ended up, it's just kind of where it ended up right now. It's kind of in the middle. It's got some grass clippings in it and some brush and some rotting vegetables and just some yuck. We can't compost a whole lot in there right now because it's not contained and my dogs can get to it, so I don't really want a dog that smells like compost. So we just kind of keep it very minimal right now, but that's another perk of all of the space that we have landed ourselves in, or that God put us in, I should say. We can really compost, and I'm hoping to get a composter soon and really start composting. A lot of our scraps right now go to our chickens, but we're going to have to start sharing those with my compost bin here soon.
Absolutely. Okay.
But yeah, so we're very thankful, and like I said, that's another big perk of the space, is being able to compost appropriately. At our other house, we didn't have a lot of space. We could garden, but the compost was something that had to just be left out.
Yeah.
So I'm looking forward to learning about that too, and another experiment ahead of me. Yeah. All right, well, this is the rest of our property. So we moved in March 31st, and we're on about 6 acres. And like I said, the space has just been wonderful. We have 3 boys, and they roam and run around and do boy things, and it's been great. We do have some farm animals, if you will. Nothing that's too high maintenance, but it's been lots of fun. So I'll take you over here to meet our farm friends. And that's our dog. She kind of rules the place as well. She roams, and she has really loved having the space to stretch her legs as well. But the chicken coop was here, and we added a roof to it and cleaned it up and got it ready for chickens. And we currently have 13 chickens. We have some smaller little bantam chickens, and we have big, huge chickens. We currently have 2, possibly 3 roosters. The rule is you don't know if it's a rooster until you hear it crow. And we have 2 that are crowing. So we know we have 2 roosters. We're waiting to see if the 3rd one is a rooster.
The percentages did not work out in your favor this year.
No, they did not work out in our favors. We picked them up from the Tractor Supply store, and you kind of get what you get. And you always hope for girls, but we got some boys. This is Bo. Come here, Bo. Come here, Bobo. These are our miniature donkeys. This one is Bo. He says hi. He says, you don't have any cookies. You're no good for me. This is Bo, and the other one is Hank. He's over there scratching himself on the chicken coop. Hank.
They're just relaxed, having a good time.
Yes, and now donkeys and dogs typically don't get together, and when we moved here we had to keep them separated until they got to know each other. But now they're pretty safe around. We still have to watch her. Bo has an opinion every now and then about Jolene here, but for the most part he just ignores her and lets her go. Huh. Are you a good boy, Bobo? Something funny about donkeys that I didn't know when I moved in is that they lose their baby teeth. I was petting him and saw that he had a tooth missing, and I was very concerned when the vet came out. I was like, he has a tooth missing. I think he chipped it. And she was like, no. She goes, look, that's his baby tooth that fell out, and you can see his grown tooth coming in. So he's about 2 years old, maybe pushing 3. So it was really funny for me to learn that donkeys lose their teeth.
There you go. And y'all just have the donkeys for fun. They don't
they're just pets. We don't, but they're a lot easier than a dog even. They just stay outside, and you have to make sure they have water. They eat grass and lots of treats. They like treats.
Are you able to use them for fertilizer at all, or?
You can use their manure. We have not yet. As I've said, we're still working on the whole composting process.
All right, watch out, Iris.
Is she smelling? Is he smelling your flowers? They are very gentle, but they are very big.
Yeah.
But we haven't used their manure yet, but we plan to take advantage of that for sure. Come here, Bo. Oh, stop. I think our chickens are over there in the shade.
Okay.
They leave the roost in the morning. We open them up when we get up, open the coop up and let them come on out for the day. And then at night, they all go back to bed, and we just close the door.
So did y'all have to train them, or did they?
No, it's just instinct, I'm assuming. They just go in at night. We very rarely have to put them to bed.
Oh, cool.
They're almost always all tucked away up in their coop.
And so y'all have been pretty safe as far as predators for the hens?
So far, so good. We have lost one. We had another rooster, too. And we lost one rooster, and I think that he ran into a fence and hurt himself.
Oh, okay, I guess, yeah.
So that was a bummer. But, at least we didn't lose one of our egg layers.
Yeah, no. And so, I mean, is it just y'all don't really have any birds of prey, or do you feel like the roosters?
We have seen a couple hawks. But for the most part, the chickens stay pretty close to the barn and to their coop. They roam the fence line, and they don't just hang out in the middle of the field.
Yeah.
I think they're pretty smart in that way. So we've been very fortunate that they've been safe so far, knock on wood.
They know how to stay alive.
Yes, they seem to be smart enough to make good choices, I guess. And we have one rooster that's very large, and he is an alarmist, which is his job.
Right.
And if anything new comes out or seems to be too loud, he starts screaming. If I holler for the boys, he screams back at me. So I feel like he kind of keeps an eye on them as well.
Okay, good.
Yeah. Come on, JoJo. Okay, bye, boys.
Thank you, Bo. Thanks, guys. We appreciate it.
You're welcome. But yeah.
So they're over here digging for stuff.
Yeah, so our chickens are over here. They pick at the weeds and the bugs and the whatevers. I throw them garden vegetable scraps. They haven't gotten a whole lot of table scraps and stuff yet just because they're still young. They will be, we got them in April, it's the beginning of April, so they'll probably start laying eggs soon. They should lay eggs, they say anywhere between 20 to 24 weeks depending on the breed. So hopefully we will have some soon that will start laying, mid-August to the beginning of September. We'll start seeing some little eggs. And then hopefully by September, the end of September, we'll be having eggs that we can take in and eat and share and give away and whatever. But we were gonna get 6 chickens and we ended up with 13 somehow. So we should have plenty of eggs.
There we go.
Yeah.
So did y'all pick out the particular breeds, or did the group just kind of come that way?
It was a little bit of both. We had ideas of what we wanted, but when you go to the tractor stores to get, you kind of have to pick what they have available. So I did want some Australorps, which that's the black one.
Okay.
She is an Australorp. And then the 2 golden ones are called Buff Orpingtons, and they are very good egg layers as well. And then we have 2 Rhode Island Reds that are somewhere else. They tend to kind of do their own thing. They were our youngest chickens, and they haven't been adopted by the flock completely yet. So they kind of roam on their own, but they will eventually all come together. You can see our big red-headed rooster. His name is Blue. He is a blue Plymouth, so he is really pretty. He's become a really pretty rooster. He's very loud and obnoxious, though, and he does crow in the morning, which is really funny, but he really just crows all day long. But yeah, the silkies, the white one is a silky, and the other one is hiding behind this bush over here.
Ah.
Go on.
That was pretty good hiding. I didn't even
It
see
is
that
pretty
one.
good hiding. And they were our very first 2 chickens. When we went to get chickens, these were the last 2 chickens available. So we took them. And I do think that the other white one, I think we have a male and a female.
Okay.
Because they look very different. But the white one, he's not crowing yet, so it's yet to be
It's hard to tell.
Yeah.
Okay.
But they're a lot of fun.
I've seen people get silkies, I guess, because they like them. So y'all just got them because that's what they had.
We got them because that's what they had. I do think they're really cute and little fluffy. They will lay eggs, but their legs will be a lot smaller. The other really cool chicken we have that's kind of rare, I guess, is the little brown one. He is our other rooster, and he is called a frizzle chicken. He's a cochin, but he's a frizzle. So he's got the furry feet, or the feathered feet, but his feathers grow the wrong way. So they flip out. Now we named it Farrah because, like Farrah Fawcett, all of her wings blew back.
Okay.
But it's a boy, so his name is now Pharaoh. But he's pretty cool. So it's been a fun group of chickens.
And they just kind of roam, and Jolene just kind of does Jolene leave them alone for the
She
most
does
part?
so far, knock on wood. She's chased him a couple times and been disciplined for it, and she's left him alone since.
Okay.
But she doesn't pay him much mind. Now we have seen the donkeys chase him a little bit, which has been really funny. They haven't hurt them clearly, but they will rustle them up with their head. You'll see them put their head down and run at them, and it's really funny to watch. But the chickens just run away, and they're fine. So.
Okay.
But yeah, they're a fun little group. Like I said, we were going to get 6, and we ended up with 13.
So do you feel like 13 is any more work than 6?
I think it's a bigger mess, but I don't think it's any more work.
Yeah.
I think it's the same amount of chores as far as time and feeding and water and that kind of thing. And it's not a whole lot of work. You got to keep your eye on them and let them in and out. But, you know, if we leave for a weekend, we leave them in the coop, and they're fine.
Okay.
So they haven't been too bad.
So I noticed you got a gate back there. You're okay if they just go back that way?
Yeah, they're allowed to. They normally don't. The furthest we've seen them roam, they'll go in that little brown shed there, which is just a hay shed. It's got a dirt bottom floor, so they go in there and dirt bath.
Scratch around. Oh, okay.
And scratch around, and then they come back up here.
Okay.
So we've never seen them in the back pasture. You know, I'm sure there's a first time for everything, but JoJo's gonna chase the chickens now. Come here, Joe. That I've said she's so good. But
and y'all's plan is just kind of leave this area the way that it is?
Yeah, I think so for now. We've talked about possibly tilling some rows for vegetables or something at some point, but we don't have the equipment for that right now, so that'll be a down the road project.
Okay.
We would like to eventually maybe let photographers come use it, take pictures or whatever. In the spring we have lots of buttercups, so the field is full of little yellow flowers. It's really pretty. So it's just very pretty and welcoming here. You see him chasing the donkeys?
There he goes.
That's my grass. Get out of my grass.
Absolutely.
Bo definitely has a bigger personality than Hank. He's funny, but
I just think it's funny that Hank is smaller than Bo.
Isn't that funny? Because he's the dad. So the mom must have been bigger. I've never seen the mom, and I don't know where the mom is. But yes, they're funny. Bo is better behaved as well. I will say that. Like when we have to take care of them or groom them or spray them with fly spray, you can tell Hank is more experienced.
Okay. All right, well, do you want to introduce us to the bunnies?
Sure, I can show you guys the bunnies. Come on in, they're inside the barn. We'll go climb the gate and check out the bunnies. Come on, JoJo.
I know one of the things the Webbs talked about was that they just kind of enjoy watching the animals. It's relaxing.
Yes, very much. The chickens are really funny to watch, especially when you put them in their coop with, if I just clean out the coop and put fresh straw down and put some vegetables on the floor, they're just so happy.
Sure.
You can watch them pick and scratch and eat, and they share their food, and they throw it all around, and they dig stuff up. They're really funny to watch.
So they'll share with one another, huh?
They do. Blue is really a good sharer. He'll take all the food out and like throw it around the floor.
That's funny.
That's funny.
And so this was all here when you guys moved in. The only thing you added was the roof to the chicken coop?
Correct. We added a roof, and we added the gutter.
Okay.
The gutter, as you can see, had a drainage problem down here, so we're gonna have to figure out how to take care of that. But now the water drains and all has a system to go out and down, which has helped to keep the whole area dry and doesn't smell as bad.
Yeah, it smells no good. That's maybe the downside to...
Chickens do have a smell, and it is a farm, so, you know, there are some farm smells. So this was at one time a very functional working barn. The people before us didn't use it as they had one horse, but they kept the horse outside. And the people before them didn't really use the barn either. So it's got some work that it needs, but it's a lot of fun. And we don't really plan on having horses, so it's not a big problem. The door is stuck. But let me see, I can climb in here and grab them. We have 2 bunnies. This is, come here, Birdie. This one is a girl. She's a mini lop. And her name is Birdie. And she's about 12 weeks old, so she's much smaller. She shouldn't get too much bigger though, as it is. Like, she should be a smaller bunny to begin with. And then Buddy is a little harder to catch. We'll see if he's gonna cooperate. Hey, Buddy. These 2 are very good friends. Let's see, hi. Are you gonna be good? Or are you gonna run around?
Chasing.
Yeah, this is Buddy. He was supposed to be a lion head, but I'm pretty sure he's just some sort of mutt. He does have lion head in him. And he is about, he was born in November, so however many months old that makes him. He's not going to let me catch him right now.
He's going to go back there and comfort Birdie.
He's going to go hide out with Birdie. They are very good friends. We may have babies one day, but we'll see how that goes. There are plans for Buddy to not be able to make babies, but that's not till August, so we have to see what becomes of that.
Yeah.
But babies on a farm wouldn't be the worst thing.
Sure. And you guys just have these just for fun?
They're
no real
just
plans for
fun.
them?
Well, eventually I hope to use the rabbit droppings in my compost. It can be used for that, so we'll put it to use. But, you know, we'll see how, if we end up with babies, we'll see how it goes.
Yeah.
But we're not going to use them for meat rabbits or anything. They're not meat rabbits. They're pets.
Yeah.
But, you know, 2 rabbits and 3 kids and a couple donkeys and chickens is enough.
It's plenty for right now.
Yeah, it's plenty for right now. So
Yeah.
we don't need any more baby bunnies. That we won't be keeping any.
Sure.
Knock on wood.
Yeah.
But,
There's plenty of people around that like them, that's
right,
for sure.
we'll be able to find homes for them, I don't have any doubt. And you're supposed to keep them in pairs, so we would have to keep 2 more.
Sure.
So we're not keeping 2 more.
Yeah.
We'll hand them off to friends.
Absolutely.
But yeah, but it's been fun for sure. You know, the property's been great, the yard's been great. It's given me a lot of, I don't know, just goodness and satisfaction to do good with my hands.
No,
So
absolutely.
it's been
That's
really
one of the things
awesome.
that we talk about often is, you know, you may, I don't know, put in more to gardening than you get out of it, but it's just, as far as maybe monetary and even
Right.
even sometimes the produce, but it's just fun and it's relaxing.
Yes.
So
And it's just, for me, it is a place for me to see God's wonder. There's nothing like watching stuff grow. I mean, and like I said too, even the pests earlier, to know that there's a tiny little bug that can dig through something or chew through something that I can't get through with a knife is just mind-boggling to me.
Yeah.
It's amazing. So
now nobody
it's
wants
where it's at for me.
Nobody wants pickleworms in
No.
their garden, but you know
You don't
they-
want pickleworms. I don't want pickleworms, but I'm blown away by the
Yeah.
fact that they can, you know, use their little bitty teeny tiny jaws to chew through my vegetables.
Absolutely.
So when I'm in there with a knife and I have a hard time, so it's just really, it's neat. I don't want them. I'm at war with them currently,
Yeah.
trying to get rid of them, but they are pretty amazing when you think about it that way.
Yeah, no, that is cool.
So, and they were very, very tart, but you could eat them. They were Granny Smiths.
Okay, yeah, well they're tart anyway.
Right. So I was like, well, they're gonna be tart anyway. But
So you got your blueberry bush here.
yeah. Now this was here. There was one here, and there was one where that Japanese maple is.
Okay.
So I dug it up, and it's in that pot over there waiting for the fall. I'll replant it. But yeah, these were all weed beds full of weeds. So we ripped all the weeds out, put the flowers and the plants down, and just kind of fixed it up. All the rock work was here, so that was really nice, and we just kind of worked around it. We had to replace a little bit of the wood for the wall. It was all rotted. We redid some of the rocks to make them look a little more presentable. But you know, just planted them in, and then along the fence back there, you can see those are all fruit trees. I think there's a peach and a pear and an apple, and then on the other side of the fence there's a fig tree,
Oh yeah.
and then there's supposedly grapes somewhere, but I haven't found them yet.
Okay. You saying they're somewhere over that way or just somewhere
They're
on the property?
on the fence
Okay,
somewhere
along the
down
fence.
there, but I don't know that they're there anymore. But we were told that there were grapes planted somewhere. I haven't found them. But all the fruit trees that we were told about are still there, but I've never grown fruit on a tree before, so we're learning about that this year. and hopefully next year we'll be able to pick the fruit. But
Yeah.
this year we just watched the birds and the ants eat it all.
Eat it all, yeah.
We saw it and then it was gone. So hopefully we learn about it this year and are able to harvest some of it next year.
Yeah, it looks like you guys had plenty to work with this year as
Yeah,
far as
we
things to kind of
definitely
keep
had our hands
your
full.
focus on.
Yeah, a little bit at a time. So we've bitten off a lot, but it's been a lot of fun, and the flower gardens were a lot of fun for me. A lot of these plants I brought from my old house with me.
Okay.
The Japanese maple was a Mother's Day gift, so I dug
Yeah.
that up and brought it along, and it transplanted beautifully and has been very happy. And you know, it's just lots of fun.
You have a nice. Okay, so we want to thank Miss Amanda for having us out
course.
today
Thanks for coming.
to see the space. It's a beautiful space.
Happy to share it. Yeah,
You guys have done a
it's
great job.
We've been very grateful to be here.
So one of the things that we like to do is just have the folks that we visit kind of talk us through the motivations for gardening and things that you enjoy.
Right.
You know, what are you guys trying to get out of it? So
You know, we're just, I guess the reason I love gardening, like we've touched on, is just it's a place for me to just go see, just truly go see God's wonder. It's a place for me to go do good with my hands. It's a place where hard work pays off. And for me, it's a place where I get to experiment. I get to watch things fail miserably or really succeed, and it's so gratifying. Either way, truly, to learn out in the garden. Your cost is low. You know, you buy a packet of seeds for a couple bucks,
Right.
and they either grow or they don't, and it's cool to watch.
do y'all save seeds year to
I
year?
have saved some seeds year to year. I planted, this is probably my first seed. Most of my pumpkins are from saved seeds, so that's been really cool. We did buy some packs of seeds too, so it's been really neat to watch that. You know, and it gives our boys a purpose, I think, which was really important for my husband and I. When we moved out here, we moved to this space, and we decided we wanted to move to space. It gave us an opportunity to teach them hard work,
Sure.
Use your hands, be busy. And just do good by nature, do good by God. And it was just a really cool opportunity for us to get to do that. So we're very grateful to be here. Very grateful that they have the opportunity to grow up that way. And, you know, to be able to share it with people.
Yeah. And you had mentioned to us earlier that you're hoping maybe once your garden grows to donate some of that. So why don't you walk us through that?
You know, we landed in this place by the grace of God, and we've worked hard to make it what it is. By all means, we haven't been here very long yet, but we hope to one day, hopefully, I can get my gardening roots under me enough that we can grow enough produce to be able to share with people in the community that need it, or to donate it to places that can put it to good use.
Okay. All right. Well, folks, we hope you enjoyed the tour of the Ryans and their home, and not necessarily home, but the gardening space. You know, hopefully you guys saw some things and you learned some things you can take away. We know that they have a fair amount of space, but just because you may not have as much space, hopefully you took something away that you could use in your spot. I mean, I'm thinking specifically about the lettuce. I mean, most people like lettuce.
By all means, a tomato in a pot.
Yeah.
I mean, you can grow lots of stuff in a pot. If you have a fence, you can grow cucumbers up your fence.
Yeah.
I mean, lots of options for a small space too.
And a lot of it's just about being creative with your space, and you know, trying to figure out some things that work. So we hope you enjoyed that.
Yeah.
Amanda, thank you for having us
Of course,
over.
of course.
And,
Thank you.
Thanks for watching, and we hope to see you next time.
Bye.